Hey everyone, welcome back to a different type of video. Today I'm going to be listing my opinion of the top 10 Pokemon that would benefit from a move update in the Go Battle League. These are some Pokemon that are currently pretty spicy picks or straight up bad picks in the Great League meta, but have a lot of potential if they just get one new fast or charge move. My list will occupy of only Great League eligible Pokemon, that is Pokemon under 1500 CP, and we'll have a few honorable mentions in there as well, so this list will actually be 12 picks instead of 10. Let me know if you guys would like to see a version of this with Ultra in Master League, and which version, so either Ultra Premier Classic, or just the Open Ultra League, and the same thing with the Master League. But anyways, let's get into the top 10. Starting off, we have Walrein. Now, as you can see, at Walrein's moveset, it has Waterfall, Earthquake, and Blizzard. The problem with Walrein is it just doesn't have a cheaper charge move available. Earthquake and Blizzard are both nuke moves, and you don't want to run a Pokemon that doesn't have a cheaper fast move in the Go Battle League. So I think my potential fix here is giving this thing Avalanche. Walrein in the main series games does learn Avalanche, and in Pokemon Go is an absolutely busted move. It is a Psystrike clone, and I think that you could get rid of Blizzard, throw Avalanche in there, and then you have a cheaper charge move. And then you also have Earthquake as the coverage nuke, and Waterfall as the high DPS fast move. Walrein does have a pretty good stat product with a slightly below average attack and defense, but a pretty high HP stat. The number that I have in this parenthesis next to the stat product is actually a stat product score. Stat product score is calculated on the attack, defense, and HP all kind of weighed together to reach a certain stat product score. To put things into perspective, I think G-Fisk has like a 2400 stat product, or 2100 or 2200. A lot of the top meta picks have somewhere between like 2000 and 2300, with some Pokemon like Chansey up all the way at like 2500. 1978 is definitely a plausible stat product. I think anything under like 1800 is considered poor. But if you have a stat product that low and a really good moveset, you can still find success in the meta. It's like some of these glass cannons. The win rate with the current moveset of Waterfall, Earthquake, and Blizzard is 267 wins, 445 losses, and 8 draws, which is pretty putrid, I think, considering the fact that this thing sucks with shields up, makes it so poor. But the win rate with the updated moveset of Waterfall, Avalanche, Earthquake gives this thing 424 wins, 293 losses, and 3 draws. This win rate differential is 154.5. Basically, how I calculated this is I took the difference of wins in the updated versus the current moveset, and then I took the difference of the losses between the current and the updated moveset, and I averaged them out. So if there's an odd number of draws in their differential, then that means there's going to be 8.5, and if it's even, like if it was 444 losses and 9 draws, then the win rate differential would either be 154 or 155. Anyways, you guys will see later on in the list why I chose this at number 10. But anyways, let's get on to pick number 9. At number 9, we have Lumineon. This is actually a pure water type, even though it doesn't really look like it. It looks like it could either be a bug type or a flying type. But this thing has Waterfall, Water Pulse, and Blizzard. So pretty similar to Walrein. These are some pretty similar Pokemon, except for the fact that Walrein is an ice type. But I think my solution to this is adding Surf instead of Water Pulse. Water Pulse is a pretty expensive charge move. I think it's a clone of Flamethrower, maybe? I might be wrong though, but Surf would give it a cheaper water type move. That way you can bait Blizzard, and you won't have to build up to, I think it's like 55 or 60 energy with the Water Pulse. Surf is, I think, 40, 45 energy, so gives you a cheaper alternative. Lumineon has a pretty good stat product, pretty low attack at 109.4, but a pretty high defense and HP stat. The win rate with the current moveset of Waterfall, Water Pulse, and Blizzard is 305 wins, 414 losses, and 1 draw. But if you add Surf to this thing, you end up picking up 454 wins, 264 losses, and 2 draws. That gives a win rate differential of 149.5, making this thing pretty viable in the meta. 454 wins is pretty solid and actually picks up a lot of matchups. Alright, getting on to number 8, we have Amoonguss. I didn't even add this in for memes. Like, this Pokemon actually has potential to be really, really solid. Right now, it stands at a pretty good win rate of 387 wins and 329 losses in 4 draws. Its move pool is Feint Attack, Grass Knot, and Foul Play. And as you can see there, it definitely could benefit from a better fast move. I was looking through the grass fast moves, I was looking at Bullet Seed and Vine Whip, and it really didn't increase the win rate all that much. It put it up in the 400s, but not anything really substantial. But Amoonguss is a grass and poison type, and this thing would heavily benefit from Poison Jab. There's just so many things in the meta that Poison Jab hits hard. It hits the fairy types, it hits Azumarill, it hits the grass types. It's just so solid in the meta right now, especially with that poison type buff. Amoonguss has a pretty good stat product, as a low attack, a low defense, but a really high HP stat for a stat product score of 2038. Now, the win rate with the current moveset, as I said, 387, 329, and 4, is still really good. Feint Attack is probably one of the most average fast moves in the game, but benefiting from Poison Jab brings that updated moveset win rate up to 510 wins, 209 losses, and 1 draw. That's on the cusp of being top meta. And if this thing received Poison Jab, it would instantly become meta. The win rate differential is only 121.5, but the reason that I have this above the last 2 Pokemon is because its win rate becomes so much higher than the other 2 Pokemon after the updated moveset. I think that Amoonguss would be probably in the top 50 in the Great League, and would definitely be viable, and not even be a spice pick, as it is right now. And that's why I have this Pokemon at number 8. Alright, at number 7, I think we have a fan favorite here. And that Pokemon is Dunsparce. I know that JFarm would definitely appreciate this being in the video. Currently, Dunsparce just has absolutely awful fast moves. It has Bite and Astonish, but it does have really good charge moves. It has Drill Run and it has Rock Slide. So my potential fix here is to give this Pokemon Quick Attack. This would give it some faster charge, and the ability to get to Drill Runs and Rock Slides pretty dang fast. I think the reason this thing can find so much success is because it has a really good stat product. 104 wins, 110 losses, or no, wait, what? 104 attack, 110 defense, and 183 HP. It's got a really good stat product score of over 2100. The current win rate that Dunsparce has right now, surprisingly, is actually positive. It has 363 wins, 354 losses, and 3 draws. But Quick Attack is just such a fast charging move. It's a wing attack, and it is a Sucker Punch clone. And if you have Quick Attack on Dunsparce, you bring the win rate to 518 wins and only 200 losses and 2 draws. Again, just like Amoonguss, making this thing meta. And who doesn't want Dunsparce to be meta? I mean, it's got so much going for it. Win rate differential, 154.5, pretty solid, and that's why I have this Pokemon at rank number 7. Alright, at number 6, I think I'm a little bit biased. I think this could be a little bit overrated, but we have Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee is the only Pokemon in the Hitmon family that doesn't have the move counter. Its best fast move is Rock Smash, its other fast move is Low Kick, but it does have the charge moves of Stone Edge in close combat. I think giving this thing counter would make it extremely viable, giving it the best fast move in the game. Stat product kind of flipped from the other Pokemon that I've been showcasing. It has 142.4 attack, 121 defense, and 91 HP, so pretty average defense, high attack, and low HP, but the stat product is really poor at 1574. The win rate right now, as you can see, 141 wins, 574 losses. Ouch, that is just awful. You never ever see this thing in the Great League, but giving this thing counter brings its win rate up to 414 wins, 305 losses, and 1 draw, making it quite a viable spice pick in the meta, kind of like Hitmontop, but I think Hitmontop might still be a little bit better. Anyways, the win rate differential is a whopping 271. And the only reason I have this at number 6 is that, as it may not be a top meta pick, it definitely leaves the dumpster. Nobody would ever use this thing, even as a spice pick. You would have to be absolutely absurd to run this thing in the Great League. But giving it counter makes it a little bit more plausible. Alright, getting on to number 5. Oh, gosh. We have Miltank. Alright, this thing... Nobody, I guarantee none of my viewers know this. This thing has Tackle, Body Slam, and Ice Beam. Alright, pretty obvious that it needs the new fast move. What is my potential change for this? Well, I was looking at the Pokemon database to see what fast moves this thing has. And it's basically got Tackle, Takedown, I think Pound, and Charm. Yeah. My potential to make this thing viable is giving it Charm. I'm so sorry. Gives it coverage against the fighting types, which are so strong against normal types, and makes it viable. Miltank stat product, 105 attack, 135 defense, 148 stamina. Really good stat product, pretty bulky, and it's just not good with Tackle. Tackle just doesn't do any damage. Win rate with the moveset running Tackle, 268 wins, 446 losses, 6 draws. But what absolutely blew my mind is if you give this thing Charm, your win rate jumps to 478, 239, and 3. And that makes it definitely in the top 100. But it makes it really viable. Win rate differential, 208.5. That is absolutely ridiculous. And, I mean, it would bring Miltank from being a super spicy pick to becoming potentially meta. And that's why I have this thing at number 5. Please do not cancel me, guys. I'm so sorry. This is just a list. This is not going to happen. Please do not cancel me. I beg. Alright, getting on to number 4, we have Shelgon. This thing is pretty solid. Another Pokemon I think might be a little bit overrated on this list, not in the Great League. It has Dragon Breath, Twister, and Flamethrower, and it also has Dragon Pulse. It's a great pick. It's, I'd say, on the border of... I'm not even going to say on the border. It's kind of right there in the better spice pick category. With Dragon Breath, Twister, Flamethrower, it picks up 474 wins and 241 losses in 5 draws. So why am I putting this on the list? Well, if you add Dragon Claw, you actually pick up 95 more wins, bringing the win total to 571, 148, and 1. Dragon Claw is just so spammy, as you can see, like with Dragonite, Pokemon like... well, I guess, is Dragonite the only one that has Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw? Because Salamence doesn't. Hydreigon doesn't. Zweilous doesn't. Dragonair doesn't. And, I don't know. I think Dragonite might be the only one. But, anyways, I was, again, looking at the Pokemon database. This thing learns Dragon Claw. So, yeah, this might not need to be on the list. I'm just going to go over everything. Stat product, 123 attack, 118 defense, 123 HP. Pretty poor stat product. But, I mean, it's pretty average bulk, average attack, everything. The win rate with the updated moveset, though, 571 wins is absurd. It would absolutely instantly make it top meta. Still get walled by Pokemon like Azumarill. I mean, it'd be a little bit weak to G-Fisk, so it might not be so high in the ratings because it picks up some pretty meta losses, but it's still really good against everything that's basically not a Fairy type or a Steel type. And even the Steel types, it has the ability to hit back with Flamethrower. And that's why I have it at number 4 on the list. I think this definitely could change. Opinions on this might be a little bit stronger. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about this list, if you would rearrange anything on the list, and if you think that I forgot any Pokemon, or if you think that some Pokemon shouldn't be on this list. Alright, at number 3 we have Klefki. This is a regional that like just came out in the game. I didn't even know this Pokemon existed until a couple days ago. It runs Astonish, Foul Play, and Play Rough. Alright, it's okay. I'm just going to give this thing a little bit of context. This is, I think it's a France regional, and it is a Steel Fairy type, so same as Mawile. Stat product, 119 attack, 134 defense, 118 HP, so a little bit on the bulkier side. Pretty average stat product. And it runs Astonish, Foul Play, and Play Rough, so pretty good coverage with the Darkened Fairy, but a really, really putrid fast move. So what is my solution? In the Pokemon database, I saw that this thing learns Lock On, and when I saw that, I was like, oh no, like this thing would be way too busted. And it is, but I also think it would be relatively balanced in the meta. The win rate with Astonish is 237 wins, 481 losses, and 2 draws. The win rate, if you make Lock On the fast move, brings it all the way up to 508 wins, 211 losses, and 1 draw, so it flips over 270 matchups. And, I mean, I just think it would be so funny to see this thing flying around the meta. Everybody would be wanting to trade. Oh, can I get Klefki? Like, try to get good IVs. You'd be trading with people from France. I think it would be pretty healthy for the game. Still gets beat by G-Fisk. Okay, obviously big meta monster. I'd say pretty neutral against Azumarill. But 211 losses still doesn't make it, like, immortal, right? So that's why I have this thing at number 3. Anyways, again, just, like, let me know what you guys think about this list. It's a little crazy. I kind of went off the deep end here, but, you know, just bear with me. Alright, number 2, we have Runerigus, something like that. This thing runs Astonish, Sand Tomb, and Shadow Ball. It is a ground ghost type, which is pretty unique in my opinion. I think Golurk has the same moveset, or the same typing. But this Pokemon is the only one on the list that I have 2 potential fixes for. Just to preface, this thing has 112 attack, 168 defense, 106 HP. Very similar stat product to Kofagrigus, which is its counterpart. 2002 stat product. Shout out to the year I was born. Win rate with its current moveset running Astonish is 218 wins, 501 losses, and a draw. Absolutely awful. Another thing I've been seeing is I think Astonish just needs a buff. I think the fast move Astonish just needs to get either a little bit more of a damage increase. I mean, I would say an energy increase, but like Hex already got buffed with energy, so I think having another fast move, like a ghost fast move that does a lot of fast move damage, is pretty healthy for the meta. But if you have, okay, so I have Shadow Claw and Hex as my 2 fixes. Hex would make it more balanced. Shadow Claw would make it a little bit more on the overpowered side and top meta. So with Hex, you pick up 425 wins, 294 losses, and 1 draw, which is about 207 more than you would have with Astonish. Shadow Claw, on the other hand, picks up 100 more wins, making the total 528 wins, 188 losses, and 4 draws, making this the most OP Pokemon on this list so far. And it is plus 311.5 wins over what Astonish would have. But anyways, I mean, this is such a big number to see. Like, this picks 311 matchups that it would have lost with Astonish. But it was already such a bad Pokemon anyways that it's not as lopsided as if it would be like a viable spice pick or something like that. So I have this Pokemon at number 2 just for the sheer Shadow Claw damage. I think with Hex, you put this thing at like 7 or 8 on the list, but that's why I have it at number 2, kind of primarily looking at Shadow Claw. But if Niantic wanted to make this Pokemon a little bit more balanced, they could put Hex as a fast move. It'd still be on the better side of Great League Pokemon. Alright, before we get to number 1, I have a couple honorable mentions. This first one, I'm actually going to talk about Fearow first. Fearow currently has Peck, Sky Attack, and Drill Run, so if you look at the charge moves, they're really good already. Sky Attack and Drill Run offer great coverage. You got a flying and a ground type move. They're both really, really solid, but Peck is kind of bad. So my potential fix here is Wing Attack. I think Wing Attack would make this thing relatively viable. Fearow has a stat product of 132 attack, 102 defense, and 124 HP. So pretty poor stat product. Currently picks up 247 wins, 470 losses, and 3 draws with Peck. But with Wing Attack, it makes it a lot more balanced and a relatively decent spice pick. The win rate with Wing Attack instead of Peck brings it all the way up to 409 wins, 311 losses. And that is a win rate differential of 160.5, so you pick up 160 matchups that you would not have already won. And I think that that's enough to make it an honorable mention, just for it to become at least viable, because right now nobody would ever use it. The other one I have is Marowak. Marowak only has ground moves, has Mudslap, Bone Club, and Earthquake, and I think that this thing should receive 2 new moves. This one, I was kind of thinking, like, I don't even want to add this on the list, but because my solution is give it Mud Shot and Rock Slide, so you give it a new fast move and a new charge move. And actually, with that being the case, this thing just becomes a G-Fisk clone, except it's not Steel type. And that's why I was kind of hesitant to put this on the list, because I think people would still use G-Fisk, or they could use a G-Fisk Marowak line in the back, because you'd be running double Mudshot, double Rock Slide, double Earthquake. Not Cubone, Marowak. Cubone evolves Marowak. Marowak has a stat product of 111 attack, 145 defense, 126 HP. So pretty good stat product. Obviously, we see a Alolan Marowak a lot in the meta, just because it has a diverse moveset and a pretty good typing of Fire and Ghost. But Marowak, Kanto Marowak, that is on the other hand, is not too great. So currently, it does have 356 wins, 360 losses, and 4 draws, so it's probably the most average Pokemon in the game. A little bit on the weaker side, just because it's you either destroy whatever Pokemon it is, you get absolutely destroyed, or it's as even of a matchup as you can get. It's not like slightly losing or slightly winning. So if you give this Mudshot and Rock Slide, you jump up to 470 wins, 249 losses, and 1 draw. And this offers a win rate differential of 112.5, so I think Niantic could either give this thing Mudshot or Rock Slide, and that would at least boost its stats to have a positive win rate, but I think Marowak could definitely benefit from something. Alright, you guys have been waiting for it. Here is number 1 on the list. Prepare yourself, because this is absolutely wild, and frankly, I don't want Niantic to ever do this. At number 1, we have the GOAT. We have Dubwool. This thing currently runs Tackle, Body Slam, and Wild Charge. Really, really good charge moves. Really, really bad fast move. Stat product, 111 attack, 141.6 defense, 128 stamina. 2014 is the stat product rating, which is pretty solid. Now, obviously, we need a new fast move from Tackle, right? What are we going to give it? Well, I looked on the database, and this thing learns Counter. Yeah, the best fast move in the game. So its current win rate with Tackle is 232 wins, 486 losses, and 2 draws. So absolutely awful. But look at this stat. This stat is absolutely ridiculous. If you give Dubwool Counter, it jumps from 232 wins to 629 wins. It picks up 89 losses. It picks up less than 100 losses and keeps the 2 draws, but it gains 397 matchups that it would originally lose with Tackle. It's like, I'm going to put this into perspective. G-Fisk's win rate is around like 520, and it picks up like around 200 losses. I'd say like a little bit on the lower side of 200 losses. This thing outbeats G-Fisk by like 100 games. So there's over 100 Pokemon that Dubwool would be able to beat, that G-Fisk wouldn't be able to beat, on top of what they already could beat if this thing had Counter. When I saw this thing, when I was looking at the database, I was like, okay, yeah, Dubwool. Tackle's a horrible move. What could we give it to make it viable? And I saw counter. Anything is possible, but if Niantic wanted to absolutely break the Great League and make a Pokemon that literally everybody needed to either run or build a team to counter, it would be this thing. A win rate differential of 397 is absurd, and this thing already picked up 200 wins, which is honestly kind of respectable. Like, it's not at the bottom of the barrel. I think Hitmonlee had like 114 wins, and that only gains like 270 wins, making it relatively viable. But this thing would be so busted. And I mean, it would be the goat, which is really funny because considering it is a goat Pokemon, or a sheep goat, or a sheep, or whatever you want to call it, something in the goat family. But that's gonna be it for the list. I really hope you guys did enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below if you want me to make a Ultra League version, a Master League version, or if you want me to do Ultra Classic, or Ultra Premier Classic, or is it Ultra Classic, or I think it's Ultra. Might be Ultra Premier. It might be Ultra Premier and Ultra Premier Classic. But if you want me to do a different league for the next video, let me know. But anyways, leave a like if you guys did enjoy. This took a lot of effort for me. This is probably the most effort I've put into a YouTube video so far. So let me know if you guys want to see more of this. I'm absolutely down to keep making videos like this. Other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace.